Before we start the video, I want to give a shout out to Tina Inekun, who draws most of my chibi characters, and the KitaSean Saber illustration, which I use as my profile picture on Twitter. She actually drew me this Marie Antoinette caster illustration, which looks amazing. Thank you again for this. And she actually draws a bunch of other FGO servants as well, and has a lot of original work, so check out her Twitter account, link is down below. And she recently opened up commissions, so if you want her to draw your favorite servant, shoot her a message and she'll do it for you. So again, Tina Inekun, thank you again for all the hard work that you have done, and let's go ahead and get straight into the video. What's up everyone, KitaSean here. In this servant spotlight video, we're going to go ahead and talk about one of the highly requested servants, and that is Arjuna Alter. Arjuna Alter was first teased in Lost Belt servant trailers before Lost Belt even started, and comes into FGO in Chapter 4 of Lost Belt as the main antagonist servant, and he is a limited 5-star berserker. We're going to talk about his stats, skills, what servants and CEs to pair him up with, and why he is so damn good. So once again, Arjuna Alter is a 5-star berserker. His max attack is 11,669 and HP is 13,837. His MP gain on attack is 0.98%, defense is 5%, star weight is 9, rate is 5.10%. He is the first servant in Fate Grand Order to have both good and evil trait, meaning he will gain buffs that specifically work on those traits. Now let's talk about his skills. As a Buster type Berserker servant, he has all the right skills you want to see on a Buster Berserker. His first skill, Anti-Evil Special EX, increases his attack for 3 turns, and it applies special attack if the enemy he is attacking has any debuffs on them. Clairvoyance Transcended EX increases critical star gather rate for his Buster cards for 3 turns by a crazy amount, and it can also increase his MP gauge, which works very well with his Noble Phantasm. His last skill is Spirit Torch EX, applies Guts 1 time for 3 turns and restores his HP for 3 turns as well. Not only can he do massive damage, but he can also protect himself for a bit. He has 2 class skills. One of them is Madness Enhancement EX, which increases his Buster card by 12%, and Divinity EX applies damage plus for 250. His Noble Phantasm is Mahapralaya, which I'm pretty sure I'm butchering, but it's an AoE Buster Noble Phantasm that applies decreased Buster card resist of all enemies for 3 turns, which is applied before the Noble Phantasm even hits. So that means the enemies will be taking a really good amount of damage from the Noble Phantasm alone. So imagine with all the buffs from himself and the supports, he's going to do massive damage. His command card deck consists of 1 quick, 1 arts, 3 busters, and his quick, buster, and extra attacks do 4 hits, and his art card does 2 hits. Now, let's talk about which servants to pair him up with. As a servant who has an AoE Noble Phantasm, he will be very useful for farming, but if you want to use him for more challenging quests, then no question Merlin and Waver are going to be in that party, and I'm sure I don't have to explain myself about these two. You can also use fellow Lost Belt Chapter 4 servant Ganesha as a tank to protect him. Not only can she tank, she can also provide MP gain, damage up. I do think you need to throw in a servant like Merlin in the party just for the extra invincible and the easy arch chain. Helena is a great attack buff and MP gain support, Hans for crit support, and Mashu is also a great servant for some defense. When it comes to farming, it really doesn't matter who you put in the party, but a servant like Paul Bunyan would be a huge plus because she can provide Buster, crit buffs, heal, decrease enemy defense. Swimsuit Janu is also a fun servant to use in 3-turn farming. She can provide double attack buff to Arjuna because of his good trait and gain a good amount of stars, and she can take care of the first 2 waves by herself and let Arjuna handle the final wave. Shinjiku Archer, or also known as Moriarty, is also a fun servant to pair him up with due to his evil trait focused attack buff. The best CE to put on Arjuna Alter is no doubt Kaleidoscope because you will use him as a farming servant. Of course, you don't need a max limit break one because he has an MP gain skill, so that means a max limit break imaginary element is also very useful. Plus it's cost efficient so that you can put in, other servants and other CEs on that cost a little bit more. For more damage, I think Aerial Drive is the best Buster focus CE to put on him. Arjuna actually has really good MP gain, so you should be able to get his MP up during the next turn if you have the right command cards, because you have 50% MP at the start of battle with the CE, plus you have his MP gain, and I think Golden Sumo also works very well as well. for more crit star gain, 20-30, and golden captures. For command codes, I think the best one is hands down Demonic Beast of the Forest region. It inflicts curse for 3 turns, which works very well with his first skill, so you will be getting that extra damage no matter what. Command spells of the Faint Black Delusion inflicts poison, so this works very well with his first skill as well. But Arjuna will lose 100 HP when he attacks with the command card that has this command code attached. But you can always heal it off with his third skill or a support skill. Pigeon Report is also another code that works very well with his first skill, but it only activates if you remove a critical strength buff off the enemy with that command card that you attack with. Ever since Arjuna Alter's release, everyone compared him to Raikou and asked the question, who is better? In my opinion, I think Raikou is still great and strong as an AoE buster focused berserker, but Arjuna Alter is just superior. He just does way more damage than Raikou with his skills alone, so just imagine what he can do when he gets buffs from support servants like Merlin and Waver. Many berserkers would envy his third skill because it protects him and it heals a lot. He has higher MP generation, plus his stats are higher than Raikou's, and his charge time is faster. Raikou does have the potential to loop her MP, but Arjuna can deal massive damage without even relying on stars. You can actually pair him up with a lot more servants. I know I didn't list them earlier, but Asclepius and Rhinus will be great servants to pair up with Arjuna Alter when it comes to most general quests. Overall, I think Arjuna Alter is one of the best servants currently in Fate Grand Order. He has everything you want to see on a buster focused berserker and is really easy to use. His only weakness is that his second effect on his first skill needs the enemy to have a debuff on them, but honestly it's not that big of a problem. Is he worth the roll on release? Of course. So that was my spotlight video on Arjuna Alter. Now if you guys have any other servants and CEs you guys think that might work very well on Arjuna Alter, comment down below and tell me. And if you guys have a specific servant you guys want me to make a spotlight video on, comment down below and tell me as well. I'm KitaSean and I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters!